I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious cheesy garlic bread. For the ingredients, we're going to need all-purpose flour, instant yeast, salt, and water. I'm going to sprinkle in my yeast to my flour, and I'm going to sprinkle in my salt to my warm water. I'm going to gradually add in my water to my flour mixture until it looks like this. I'm going to dust my counter with flour, and I'm going to work my dough until it looks like this. And I'm going to place it in a greased bowl for about 1 hour. For the garlic butter sauce, we're going to need butter, Italian seasoning, 2 cloves of garlic, and some mozzarella cheese. I didn't have any Italian seasoning, so I just mixed together Mexican oregano, a little bit of garlic powder, and marjoram. Once my dough is ready, I'm just going to stretch my dough out and place it in my pan. I'm going to poke little holes, not going all the way through. I'm going to add my garlic butter, my cheese, and for color, I'm going to add some parsley. And this is how I made my cheesy garlic bread. I hope you guys make this recipe. Follow me on everything. Adios. I'm going to show you guys how I made my delicious hibachi. I'm going to add oil to my steak, shrimp, and chicken, and I'm going to season it. I'm going to mix this together until it's nice and combined. Now I'm just going to cut my vegetables up using the full star all-in-one. You guys can go purchase yours. The link is on my channel. It truly cuts the time of cutting your vegetables. Now I'm going to add my onions, zucchini, and broccoli to my pan with salt and pepper, butter, and soy sauce. I'm going to cook this, making sure it has a crunch to it. Now I'm just going to cook my beef. I'm going to add some soy sauce and some butter. I'm also going to saute the chicken. I'm going to add some teriyaki sauce, some hoisin sauce, and I'll mix that together. I'm going to add in my vegetables and egg, and I'm going to scramble, mix that together with rice, soy sauce, and butter, along with hoisin sauce, and I'm going to give this a good mix. Once my rice is done, I'm going to cook my shrimp, and I added a little bit of hoisin sauce. Now I'm going to plate, and this came out so good. I sprinkled over a little soy sauce and sriracha, and it was so delicious. I hope you guys try this recipe. Have you guys ever thought, dang, how did they make that delicious green salsa when you go and get some authentic tacos? Well, I'm going to show you guys how to make it today. We're not going to be using avocado. We're going to be using Mexican squash. I know, some people think it's made with avocado, but it's not. So I'm going to start by cutting up my clean squash, and I'm just going to add it to the bowl, and now I'm going to chop up half of an onion. And I'm just going to chop it up into medium pieces just like this. And I'm going to add it into my bowl. Next, I'm going to remove the garlic out of the skin. And I'm just going to add the garlic into the bowl. Now I'm going to add some olive oil. I added in all of my ingredients to my pan. And I'm just going to let this saute for about 5 to 8 minutes. And once it's done, I'm going to place it in my blender, add some olive oil and some salt to taste. And now I'm just going to add the remaining. I'm going to add some more salt, and I'm going to add some water. And this is how my salsa came out. It was super delicious. You guys have to try this recipe, and make sure you guys tag me if you make it, and follow for more. I'm going to show you guys how I made my oven-baked shrimp bowl. We're going to need some seasonings. We're also going to need some garlic. We're also going to need some onion. I'm going to boil my potatoes for 15 minutes. And after the 15 minutes, I'm going to add in my corn to cook for 5 minutes. Once it's done, I'm just going to drain it. I'm going to add some seasoning to my shrimp, along with the onions and garlic, and I'm going to mix it. I'm going to add some seasonings to my potatoes, sausage, and corn. And I'm also going to add some lemon juice. I'm just going to add in everything into the bowl. I'm going to add in my corn, my potatoes, my shrimp, and I'm also going to add in 2 slices of lemon and as much butter as you want. I'm just going to close it because I forgot my sausage. So I added my sausage in and I baked it. To go along with this, I made some cilantro lime rice, and I just added everything to my plate. I added the potatoes, the corn, the shrimp, and the sausage, and this is how I made my shrimp bowl. Hope you guys try this recipe. Follow me on everything. Adios. I made some cinnamon rolls for Mother's Day dessert, and I'm going to show you guys how to make fluffy cinnamon rolls at home. I'm going to start off by adding my warm milk into my bowl along with some melted butter, and now I'm going to add in the yeast so we can activate our dough. Now I'm going to give that a good mix and let it sit for about 1 minute. Now I'm going to add in the flour, and I'm going to give it a good mix. And this is how you want your dough. It's going to be soft. Once we have our dough at a good consistency, I'm going to add some butter to my bowl, and I'm just going to also add some butter on top of my dough so it won't dry out. Now I'm going to place a damp cloth on top, and I'm going to let this dough rise for about 2 hours or until it has doubled in size. Once our dough has doubled, I'm going to add in some baking powder and salt and give that a really good mix. just as you see me doing here. Once we've given it a good mix and mixed all of our ingredients, I'm going to add some flour to the counter and on the bread. I'm just going to roll it out. Now I'm going to apply some butter onto the bread, and I'm going to add over some brown sugar. And you want to get this all good and covered with a good amount of brown sugar. Now I'm going to sprinkle over a good amount of cinnamon because it's cinnamon rolls. There's never too much cinnamon. Okay guys, now I'm just going to roll it, and I'm going to begin to cut my cinnamon rolls. For a good cut, I use a serrated knife. You want to make sure you slice your cinnamon rolls about 1 inch to 1.5 inches to maybe 2 inches. And once we slice all of our cinnamon rolls, I'm going to add my cinnamon rolls into a pan that is oiled so our cinnamon rolls don't stick. Now we're going to let this rise for about 30 minutes or until it has doubled in size. Once it has, I'm going to place it in the oven at 350. I'm going to get started on my frosting while the cinnamon rolls are cooling down. The frosting was super easy. It was just butter, cream cheese, vanilla, and powdered sugar. Once we have it nice and mixed, now we're going to add it all over the cinnamon rolls. And guys, you cannot tell me this doesn't look super delicious, guys. Look how fluffy and soft. And this was Mother's Day dessert. It came out delicious, as you guys can see. And I hope you guys give this recipe a try. And if you do, make sure you tag me, guys, and follow me for more content. This was highly requested for me to make for Mother's Day, so I'm going to show you guys how to make some delicious tacos for your mom too. So I'm going to take some beef and I'm going to slice it, and then I'm going to chop it into smaller pieces, just as you see here. And after I'm done chopping up all my meat, I'm going to add it into my bowl. I have some onion, garlic, and cilantro, and I'm going to add all of that in there. And you want your meat to have a lot of good flavor, so we're going to add the juice of 1 lime and the juice of 1 orange. And we're going to get all that juice in there because we want all that flavor. Now I'm going to add in some garlic powder, onion powder, chicken bouillon, chili powder, paprika, salt, olive oil, and I'm also going to add in some cumin and some diced jalapenos, and I'm just going to mix this up really well. And you want to make sure every piece of meat is coated with this delicious seasoning. And once our meat marinates for about 30 minutes to an hour, and even overnight is better, which is more flavor, I'm just going to cook the meat in my pan with some oil on medium heat. And once our meat is done, we're going to add some tortillas to warm them up on top. And once our tortillas are done, I'm going to remove them, and it's time for the fun part, which is plating. So now I'm going to add my meat, and I'm going to add some cilantro and onions and a side of lime. And now I'm going to add this delicious salsa. And I actually have a recipe on the salsa, guys. But this is the finished product of how Mother's Day dinner looked, and everyone loved it. I also served this with some delicious black beans and some Mexican rice. If you guys want the recipe, let me know. Follow me for more. I'm going to show you guys how I made my honey sriracha chicken tenders. They came out so delicious. We're going to need seasonings, chicken thighs sliced into tenders, all-purpose flour. We're going to add our seasoning to our chicken and to our flour, and this full video will be on my channel. I'm just going to mix the seasoning into the meat, and I'm going to place my chicken into the flour, and I'm going to make sure it's covered in the flour. While the oil heats up, we're going to make the honey sriracha sauce. We're going to add butter, lemon juice, sriracha. I'm going to let the sauce heat for about 2 minutes, and I'm going to remove it from the eye. Now I'm going to add in my chicken tenders and let it fry for about 10 minutes until it's nice and crispy. I'm going to set it on my rack to remove the excess oil. Now I'm going to place my chicken tenders in my bowl. I'm going to pour over the sriracha sauce, and I'm going to make sure it's well coated in the sauce. I made sure every tender was tossed in the sauce. Now I'm just going to plate it. This came out so delicious. Hope you guys try this recipe. Follow me. Adios.